from 68 teams to the Final Four. The national semifinals are set. Some of the most successful teams in NCAA history are facing off for a chance to win the championship and cut down those nets in New Orleans. Hey, Hoops fans, welcome inside our Los Angeles studio. I am your host, Lisa Kerney, joined by our betting experts. We've got Dave Weaver here, Ed Egros here. You guys, we made it to the Final Four. Unbelievable.
No more Cinderellas.
No joke.
We've heard of these programs, haven't we?
This is, thrilling basketball.
The bluest of blue bloods.
Right, here we go. Of course, we've got our guy, Andrew Filipponi, joining us from Pittsburgh as well. We are breaking down the semifinal games from every single angle, including spread picks, fun prop bets, some really cool futures available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app as well. Plus, we're checking in on our experts' picks from last week to see which one of our guys, how many of our guys cashed in, and what they made out of the Sweet 16 game. So make sure you take all of our experts' information we're giving out in the show. You can use it to place your bets right now from your phone. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Check out all the wagers we're talking about on this show. And, of course, so much more. And get this, FanDuel is giving new users an assist to get started. Just sign up for an account. Bet $5 on the tournament. You'll get $150 in bonus sportsbook credit. That's right. Sign up, deposit money, bet $5 or more. You'll get that $150 in bonus sportsbook credit. All right, let's get to these games and let's bet them. You know how we roll. All right, guys, let's start with the early game here on Saturday. Number 1 seed, my Kansas Jayhawks taking on the 2-seeded Villanova team. Tip time here, 6:09 Eastern time. Nova has won 14 of its last 15 games. Kansas has won 9 games in a row. Jayhawks giving 4.5 points in this game. So, guys, let's do what we do. We bet it. I want each of you to give us your picks. And, Dave, you're going to start us off first. How are you playing it?
Well, it's about style here, right? Villanova, one of the slowest teams offensively in the country, 342nd to be exact on possessions per game. And the teams that they've beaten so far, Delaware, Ohio State, Michigan, and Houston, all like to also play that slow tempo. And here you come, you got a team in Kansas that's going to be totally different, something that they have not seen yet in this tournament. Kansas likes to push. Kansas wants to get to the basket quickly. And if they jump out to a lead here, it's going to be tough for Villanova to kind of stay in their element and do what they want to do in this game. So I anticipate Kansas getting a lead and Villanova kind of getting off track of what it is that they normally do, and that's slow things down, milk every second off that shot clock. I think Kansas gets the job done here.
And, Ed, we talked about now missing Justin Moore and how that line has changed as well.
Absolutely, and losing Justin Moore, yeah, it's significant, but it's also one of those deals where, as I've said before, throughout these last couple of weeks, injuries tend to be overrated when you are looking at betting lines when it comes to the NCAA tournament. And here is another example of this. Justin Moore, as great of a player as he is not the most efficient of players for Villanova. There are a lot of other seniors who can do basically the same things that everyone else can. I know Colin Gillespie has not had a fantastic tournament so far, but at some point he's going to pick this up. Most importantly, when you are analyzing Villanova, yeah, it is a slower pace for them, but they shoot a lot of threes. In fact, they shoot the 20th most number of threes in terms of proportion of threes to the rest of their shots as anyone in the country. And so even if Kansas jumps out into an early lead, it's okay because Villanova can shoot threes quickly. They can find open looks, good looks as a matter of fact. And I think that's why this line is a little bit inflated. I think Kansas can still get the job done, but the line's too big. I think Nova covers.
All right, Pony, what you got?
Yeah, I just think I'm a little bit surprised because that's been on Kansas the entire tournament. Now he's saying they can't cover a small line like that. I'm frankly surprised by that. I thought Kansas clicked in the second half against Miami. That was the best they've looked all tournament. McCormick was dominant inside. And Agbaji, this is the guy that was a first-team All-American. I thought he really struggled in the first 3 games of the tournament and then broke out against Miami. He's one of the 5 best teams in America, well, 5 best players in America. So he's clicking. I do think the Moore injury is significant. He's their second leading scorer and leader in minutes. I think you add that up and Kansas covers.
There you go. Let's get to this other semifinal featuring the 2nd-seeded Duke Blue Devils taking on the 8th seed in the North Carolina Tar Heels. Tip time approximately 8:49 Eastern time. You guys know how deep this rivalry runs, but this is their first ever meeting between these two teams in the NCAA tournament. Some analysts, and I do agree, calling this the biggest college basketball game in the history of the NCAA. Why not overstate it? It's right in front of us right now. UNC and Duke split their season series, both losing on their home court. This one, of course, on a neutral court, but before we get your picks, we do have a little business from last week that we need to take care of. Let's roll it.
I mean, this is my guarantee. I'll wear one of those Carolina Ram head mascot things on the air in a baby blue sweater if they make the Final Four. It's not happening. They're going to lose this game.
There it is. There's... Hey!
Wow.
Yo.
You've never looked better.
Guarantee.
Never looked better.
Right?
Ever.
Pony, it looks like you filled your part wearing the baby blue sweater there. We wanted to help you out there with the Carolina Ram head. You like it?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm colorblind, so my wife had to help me pick out the sweater. And as far as the Ram head goes, I couldn't get one delivered in time. The supply chain killed me. Or I have a real one on right now. But I'm going to do it again, Lisa. I'm going to continue to pick against North Carolina. Give me Duke in this game. You know, they are right now the best offensive team in America. I give Paolo Banchero the biggest credit for that, but in second place is Mike Krzyzewski. He made a tactical decision, an adjustment. He put Jeremy Roach into the starting lineup as the starting point guard, and I think it's ignited this Duke team. Look, Carolina's got a lot of different ways they can beat you, but they're inconsistent from three. And I think that's the difference in this game. Duke wins.
So when North Carolina wins, are you then in? Do we put them in the full mascot suit? Like how are we going to work this out for next week?
And maybe transport him to Durham as well, just to see what would happen, like with all the Duke people around
After
him.
it's all said and done, we're going to figure this out, Pony. So Duke giving four to North Carolina. Ed, I want you to give us which side you are backing here in this matchup.
What I want to make sure that our crew doesn't cut my mic off, so I'm going to take North Carolina to cover, not necessarily win this game outright, in large part because North Carolina's transition offense is simply fantastic, and I think that has to be brought into account when it comes to looking at how Duke is going to play this game. Yeah, this is going to be an up-tempo performance by both squads. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of points, a lot of shots, but we're not going to see a lot of offensive rebounding opportunities or second chance opportunities. This is a game where North Carolina has been largely inconsistent throughout the entire season, but at some point they are starting to put it all together. They are starting to gel, and not that I necessarily believe that Duke's young talent is going to fold, but at some point they are going to trip up just a little bit. At some point, youth starts to show why they are young. And this is one of those opportunities where, because of familiarity, there are going to be a lot of things, a lot of wrinkles, a lot of zone defense, man-to-man defense that Coach K has been doing a lot of. These things are going to be expected, and at some point, North Carolina is going to showcase that they have something prepared for just about everything. And so, to me, I think North Carolina can at least cover this number, but maybe not win outright.
Wasn't Duke just favored by 11 just, a few weeks ago? Yeah, they lost that game. That was Coach K's final game at Cameron, and it was a little bit overwhelming. Defensively, that was the worst Duke performance of the year. They gave up over 90 points to North Carolina. No how, no way is that happening in this game. Defensively, look at their 7-footer, Mark Williams. 16 block shots in this tournament alone. He has been on fire. He's going to be looking to swat anything in sight. I think he's going to be the key to keeping North Carolina from doing what they did in that previous game and hanging 90. I don't see that happening here. I think Duke covers.
Both of these games are going to be absolutely incredible. Check down. We bet the spread for these two Final Four matchups ahead of us. Great stuff by our guys, of course. In addition to betting the spread, you can also bet the total. So we're going to focus on that right now. Gentlemen, same drill. I'm going to get all of your picks, starting with the Kansas-Villanova game. The total for this one, 133. Ed, what do your models say? Are we going over or under 133 for this one?
So here's the deal. Yes, Villanova plays at the 7th slowest tempo of any team in college basketball. Kansas ranks in the top 80, but consider this, and I got to get nerdy here. If you look at standard deviation of each team's tempo throughout the entire season, Villanova has been more volatile. They are likelier to play faster than Kansas is slower. I am expecting a much more up-tempo game. Give me the over.
I like the over as well. You know, 133, anytime you have Villanova involved in the total, you're going to have to set it low. But I think 133 is too low. Kansas scored 47 points against Miami in the second half in their previous game. I think they'll continue that momentum, have a big first half. And what's that do? It takes Villanova out of what they want to do in slowing it down. They have to pick it up in the second half. Tempo speeds up, and this game gets over the 133, Pony.
Lone Wolf, I'll go under. Kansas is holding teams to 41% shooting on 2-point shots, not threes. Teams want to shoot 50% from two. That defense, with the absence of Moore, causes the game to go under.
133 significantly lower than the other game. So let's move on now to the total for Duke, North Carolina. That one's set at 151 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And as I mentioned earlier, these teams have played twice already this year. The totals for those, 175 and 154. So, Dave, coming to you, how do those numbers impact how you're now playing this one here in the Final Four?
Well, what I'm looking at is what Duke has done so far in this tournament. 78 points, 85 points, and then they scored 78 twice against both Texas Tech and Arkansas, two very good defensive teams. So they know how to score points. They just have so many weapons, a ton of first-round picks where you know they're going to score. And then just look at what they've done in those two games against Carolina this year, scoring 87 and 81. And that's just talking Duke offense. We know North Carolina can score as well. That's why this is a high number, but there are going to be a lot of baskets made here. It's going over.
I think they set it too high. I think it's inflated because people are expecting that, Dave. North Carolina lost to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament because they were 3 of 26 from three. They're susceptible to a bad shooting night from deep, and we really haven't seen it yet in this tournament. I think it happens against Duke. They'll go zone in this game.
They may go zone in this game, but how do you beat the zone, Pony? You shoot a lot of threes, and North Carolina is able to do that, especially with a transition offense where they're going to stop and pop from downtown. I expect them to do a lot of that. And plus, you mentioned Paolo Banchero before. He's going to be sensational in this game. Too many weapons and too many up-tempo styles here. Give me the over.
I never saw a shot I didn't like, especially from three. Great stuff, guys. Spread and totals have been wagered. Now let's just see how confident our experts are in each of their picks and how they strategically bet the Final Four here. Going to have a little fun with math. I know Ed loves this. I'm going to give each of our bettors $100 virtual dollars with that virtual cash. You have to make a 3-leg parlay bet. 1 leg on the spread, 1 leg on the total, 1 leg on your favorite prop bet. Now you get to choose the bet amounts for each. Minimum $25 for each bet. We did a similar $100 virtual bet competition for the Sweet 16 games and said we'd, of course, announce the winner on this show. So drum roll, please. And we have to give it up for Ed Ecross. Ed, you had Houston upsetting Arizona, the UNC-UCLA total to profit more than $47 on your $100 virtual dollar wager. I see you. Mad respect. I get it.
Make sure I get in the frame, too.
Yeah. You know, you look good.
Thank you.
Ooh, you look good. And for winning that wager last week, now you get to go first with your Final Four virtual bets. Give me your spread, total, and prop bet parlay. What you working with?
Make sure I don't get myself whiplash going from here to here. Okay, first off, I'm taking Villanova to cover that 4.5-point spread as a dog. They do not foul. They do not give up easy points, and I feel like that the free throw line is usually where things make a difference in terms of spreads. I think Villanova will take care of it as far as that component is concerned. Kansas, Villanova, I like the over there for $25. Kansas does play at a faster tempo, and I think they will impose that will just enough. And if Villanova gets behind, they will shoot a lot of threes. They can play at a faster tempo, so I like the over there. And for my $25 prop bet, I like Caleb Love over 15.5 points at -122. In any of these prop bets, it is much better to look at medians than means if you're looking at game-by-game point totals, and that matters. His median is 16 for the season. Yes, he is wildly volatile, but for what should be an up-tempo game, I think 16 is a safe play here.
First spread bet for me to start on Duke to cover. Banchero shooting over 50% from three in this tournament. I think that helps Duke cover and win the game. As far as the over-under is concerned, I'm going to go under in Kansas-Villanova. Villanova's not even ranked in the top 100 in field goal percentage. They're not a good shooting team. Great from the free throw line. not from the field. And my prop bet is a crazy one. This is a $50 prop bet that I came up with. Race to 5 points. Duke's going to get to 5 points before North Carolina. Couple quick threes, and they're going to cover that. Dave, you like that one?
I like that, because I think Duke is going to jump out and go on and win this game pretty easily. That's why my biggest bet is going to be on them to cover the 4 points, and I'm going to bet $40 on that, which leaves me $60. $35 of that I'm going to use on the Villanova Kansas over. So I'm opposite of you on that one, Pony. I think this is going to be a faster tempo than a lot of people are anticipating. And you guys are playing like these 50-50 shots on the props. This is how I get you. I'm using a plus 790 prop. If this hits, I'm going to win this contest by default. You have to pick a team to win and then a player to score amount of points. So they had 15 points, 20 points. I think Ochai Agbaji will get to 25 in this game, and Kansas also has to win. If those two things happen, $25 on that at plus 790, and you guys are getting beat.
Dave, you're speaking my language. I'm tailing those bets. Great parlays from you guys. Those bets are all available right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. So tail our guys or come up with your own fun parlay bets. Again, it's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And as we move on, I want to remind all of our new users, sign up for an account and bet $5 on the tournament. You are going to get $150 in bonus sportsbook credit. That's right. Sign up, deposit money, bet $5 or more. You'll get that $150 bonus in sportsbook credit. Again, it is the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And here's another great promotion you can take advantage of. FanDuel is teaming up with Visible to help you win money just by watching March Madness and answering some questions about these games. It's called the Call Your Shot Pick'em contest presented by Visible, and it is free to enter. Just go to FanDuel.com/free/hub to lock in your answers for the Final Four before these tournament games begin. Now, if you get a certain number of questions right, you'll be eligible for a share of a $10,000 prize pool. It's so much fun to play. Just go to FanDuel.com/free/hub before the games tip this weekend to enter the Call Your Shot Pick'em contest presented by Visible. As always, good luck and have fun and enjoy these games. We're getting the guys' national championship picks in just a second. But before we get to that, I want to take a closer look at some of the prop bets that are available for each of these games as we lead up to the championship. Prop party time, my favorite kind. There are a ton of different props listed on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, so we're going to rip through some of those, the popular ones on the board right now. Guys, I'll throw out a bet, ask a couple of you to give me a quick pick on which way you're going, and we're going to start here with the Kansas-Villanova game. Ed and Pony, this one is for you. Kansas guard, we talked about him, Ochai Agbaji, over or under 16.5 points. Ed, I'm coming to you first.
I like the over here in large part because Villanova wants Kansas to shoot a lot of threes, and that means Agbaji will have plenty of opportunities, and I think he will get just enough to get over that mark.
And I like the over, too. He had to figure out how to play with Remy Martin, who came back from injury and was Kansas's leading scorer in their first 3 tournament games. They finally found some chemistry against Miami. I'm taking over, too.
Okay, Dave and Ed, I'm bringing you back in for this one. Villanova guard Colin Gillespie, over or under 2.5 made threes. Dave, you're first here.
I'm going to say he gets that number. He's taken at least 8 shot attempts in 4 of his last 5 games. And in their losses, in 3 of their losses, he's made at least 4. I'm anticipating them to lose, him needing to bomb some threes late in this game. I think he'll get 4, and total's only 2.5.
And also, too, it's really difficult to predict three-point shooting from one game to the next. It is not a sticky statistic, so to speak. Colin Gillespie has not had a great tournament for the most part. I feel like that will change for him. Give me the over.
All right, it's time to shine. Dave and Pony, here's a fun one called the 3x2 bet. Will there be 2 or more 3-point field goals made in the first 3 minutes? Pony, I know you love these obscure, really detailed props, so get after it.
I think there will be. I think that's where Villanova wants to go. I don't think they really have a post presence. I don't see Kansas dumping the ball into McCormick. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the over here. I love the price. The value is very good on this bet. Take them. They're going to go like Rex Walters. Lisa, they're going to be launching those 3 balls. Your guy.
This is a bet that's become very popular on the FanDuel Sportsbook and the NBA, and it hits a lot because the tempo is so fast in those games. But in this particular spot, don't you think it's going to be a little slow to start? I don't even know if there's going to be 2 shots in the first 3 minutes, let alone 2 3-pointers that are made. I'd see maybe some turnover, just a lot of just teams just kind of getting into what they want to do. I don't think there are going to be that many threes early. I say no.
I love that you pulled Rex Walters, by the way. Give me a little Jared Haas defense while you're at it. Hey, dozens of props available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app for Duke and UNC. So let's bet them here. Pony and Dave, coming back to you. We're going to go over under 15.5 points for North Carolina guard Caleb Love. Pony, what do you think?
I'm going under. He is such a streaky player. He was incredible, awesome against UCLA. He's the reason why they made it to the Elite Eight. But you see shooting performances from here. 3 for 12, 1 for 12, 2 for 10. I don't trust him. I'm going under.
Well, Lisa, you could have given me 8 different players in this game, probably 4 from each team, and I probably would have gone over. There are just going to be so many points put up in this game. He will get his fair share. I'm saying yes, he does it.
All right, now let's focus on Duke's phenom freshman. We talked about him a second ago. Paolo Banchero, Ed, and Pony. Over or under 7.5 boards for Banchero. Ed, what do you think?
So this is a game where, because North Carolina's transition offense is pretty solid and has been good as of late, this is not a game where you want to risk trying to get too many offensive rebounds. And plus, with Banchero being such a great shooter and great offensive threat, you don't necessarily want him going after contested rebounds either. And so I just don't see him getting the opportunities to get 7.5. Give me the under.
See, I think there's a little bit of a misleading aspect to this. I think a lot of people are expecting, because he'll be matched up on Manek, that pulls him away from the basket. I just don't think Manek's going to have a good game. And I think Banchero will play close to 40 minutes, provided he's not in foul trouble. So I'm going over.
Just box out. Go get it wherever it is. That's what I say. Hey, Dave and Ed, let's do this. The 3x2. I had fun with that one for the last game. We're going to bet that one here. Will there be 2 or more 3-point field goals made in the first 3 minutes? Dave, will there?
I'm using the same philosophy here, even though you have to lay a little bit less juice here. It's 230 on this game, was a lot higher on the other, just because these teams are going to shoot a little bit more frequently. But I still think they're going to get inside the arc early, maybe save that 3-point shooting for a little bit deeper into the first half. I'm going to also say no, it doesn't happen in this game.
One of the great traditions of March Madness is talking about sight lines come Final Four time, when you go from a basketball arena to a football stadium and you shoot within those confines. And to me, I feel like that regardless of if it's true or not, you're probably a little bit more hesitant shooting from downtown. So to me, I'm not going to do it. Say no. Under.
That's real stuff right there. Hey, awesome stuff by you guys as well. Check out those prop bets or hundreds of others on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You can do it right now. And now I want to bring in a friend of the show, another college basketball expert, dropping knowledge on these 2 massive games ahead of us. Jon Rothstein, the co-host of Inside College Basketball and CBS Sports and content contributor here for us at FanDuel. Here are his picks for the Final Four games and, of course, the eventual national champion.
Hey Lisa, it's going to be an absolutely terrific Final Four later this week in New Orleans. The first game of the doubleheader is Villanova and Kansas, a tremendous contrast in styles. Villanova wants to play incredibly slow, Kansas wants to play incredibly fast, and Villanova, who will be playing without its second leading scorer Justin Moore, who is out with a torn Achilles, still has enough to get to the national title game, but I see David McCormick as being the key for Kansas inside. Over the last 4 years, when McCormick scores in double figures, Kansas is 44-9. Then in the second installment of the doubleheader, Duke plays North Carolina in the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. The 2 teams have split 2 meetings already this season, and this is the most anticipated rubber match and the biggest rubber match in the history of college basketball. North Carolina's shot making has been outstanding in the NCAA tournament, but Mark Williams, Duke's sophomore center, who's averaging 4 blocks a game in the NCAA tournament, should be the difference. That sets up a Duke-Kansas national title game, a rematch of the 1991 national title game where Coach K won his first national title, and in his final game, Coach K will beat the team that started this dominant run for Duke. Looking forward to a great week in New Orleans. Thank you, Lisa.
That's what I'm talking about. It is going to be a great weekend here. Thank you, Jon. If you want more from Jon, it's all there on his Twitter page at Jon Rothstein. More college hoops info, news, and notes. You can find it right there. All right, there you have it. You heard Jon's picks to win the Final Four games and also, of course, his national champion. And now it is your turn. So let's start with a cool bet here listed on the FanDuel Sportsbook app called Name the Finalists. And yep, all you have to do is literally pick the 2 teams that will be playing in the championship game. So guys, help a sister out here. Give me your finalists and explain why you have each of these teams playing in this national championship ahead. Pony, you first.
Well, I know I've said I'm going to pick Kansas to win the game, but I look at these as value plays, and that's why I don't think they're a lock. I'm going to bet them, but I like the value there in Duke Villanova, plus 450, almost 5-1 for Jay Wright's team to keep it going.
Right, exactly. Yes, I'm going chalk here for Duke and Kansas. When it comes to Duke, Mark Williams and Wendell Moore Jr., they're great from two, great two-point shooting guys. That matters in this game. And then for Kansas, that half-court offense is elite. It is fast. The ball passing is crisp. And even Jay Wright said that they had a tough time sort of recreating that half-court offense in practice going up against it. I think Duke and Kansas get it done.
Do not cue boys to men. It's not the end of the road yet for Coach K. He'll get to the final game here and play Kansas. Kansas just has an easy matchup here, I think, against Villanova. They match up well. I think it's going to be very chalky and a predictable outcome in these two games.
Okay, now we've got your prediction for the teams playing in the final. So let's get to the big question. Which team is going to be cutting down the nets in New Orleans and why? Ed, which team's going to be featured at the end of the One Shining Moment montage?
I think it's going to be Kansas here. And yes, I know, Coach K, wonderful story, all that fun stuff. But I think Kansas, again, path matters. They have an easier trek to the national championship. I think Villanova poses less of a challenge than North Carolina does to Duke. And so with that, I think you have more wiggle room with Kansas.
I'm seeing it the other way, where the path that Duke has had has been much tougher, beating a 3, a 4, and a 7, and Kansas beating a 16, a 10, and a 9. They haven't seen a team like Duke yet, a team that is gelling, a young team that is gelling at the right time. I walked past the Superdome just a few days ago. I could hear the Duke chants coming out of there. The fans were already there. Could you believe it?
Well, that's because you were probably still inebriated from Bourbon Street.
Possibly.
Dave. You completely hallucinated that. No, I like Duke. We haven't addressed this. I really do, and I know narratives are something Ed always talks about, fights back on, pushes back on. They lost the Coach K retirement game to North Carolina. I don't see them losing to them twice in a month's time. I'm sorry. So Duke beats North Carolina with that thinking, and then beats Kansas behind Banchero.
Well, let's get to the ladies. The women's Final Four matchups, of course, set as well. What a tournament for these ladies, by the way. Here we are with 3 number 1 seeds. A lot of chalk, yes. Number 2 seed facing off here in Minneapolis. South Carolina takes on Louisville. Stanford gets UConn, who won their Elite 8 game in an epic double overtime to advance. So we've got Final Four Friday, championship game Sunday. Guys, I want to get your pick on which women's team will be crowned champion. Dave, who do you like?
I'm going with defending champs. I think Stanford gets it done again. Coach Vanderveer looking for her 4th national title and back-to-back. Let's make it happen.
These tournaments are...
Yeah, South Carolina is just such a heavy favorite in this game. I think that matters a great deal here, and it's still a value play at even odds. Aaliyah Boston, best player in the country, and South Carolina averages 1.2 more blocks than any other team in women's college basketball. Give me the Gamecocks.
Trying to get a word in edgewise on you, Ed. Look,
No way,
one
man.
seeds always win this tournament. Louisville's a 1 seed. They're being disrespected here. 8-1. I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
All right, before we got to run here in just a second, I got a fun offer for FanDuel Casino players 21 and older, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Connecticut, and West Virginia. It's the Casino 5-on-5 tier. You can score up to 25 in casino site credit. Here's how it works. Place a bet of $5 or more on the NCAA tournament. You are going to get a $5 credit in your casino account. It's as easy as that. You can do that a total of 5 times during the tournament. Only 1 eligible bet allowed per day, so make sure you take advantage of this promotion before the tournament ends on Monday night. It's the FanDuel Casino app, and that is it for us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for hanging with us. Happy Final Four. Good luck with your bets and enjoy the games.